Guys, I want to ask y'all. There's a video game coming out about college football. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's not like people have already been reviewing it on YouTube or anything.
Yep.
Rumors. I've heard rumors.
The nostalgia. It was very popular when we were in college.
It was.
And we remember how it was playing with a certain player on Auburn's team or whoever. But there were just certain guys who they were amazing. They just had the right stats. They were fast. They were whatever the case. I want to ask you, based on this team, and B. Will actually introduced this, and I like this question. Who do you expect to be Auburn's highest rated player based on how they play? Because in today's game, the stats update as the season goes on. Mm-hmm. So who do you expect to be Auburn's highest rated player by season's end? And we'll start with the offensive side of the ball. Mike G, I'm going to start with you first. Jump in here.
Look,
who are you looking at?
I told you guys in the offseason that we hired Brian Harsin that Jarquez Hunter was going to break records at Auburn. Look, he's not going to do that. But for next season,
well, he did break a record his freshman season of the longest run from scrimmage.
So he broke a record. I said record, so I'm going to stay honest. But look, man, last year sneakily just came up short of 1,000 yards. This should be Jarquez's year. This has to be his year, guys. Jarquez Hunter should be a top 3 round back in the NFL draft. And if he is not, it is a complete failure on Auburn. All this chaos. Year 2 of Brian Harsin. Year 1 of Hugh Freeze. Now, he was suspended for the first game, and if he had played against whoever the hell they played in that first game, who was it, guys?
I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot who the first game was. He was suspended. He came out against Cal. He had a slow start.
Oh, it was
it was a cupcake.
Yeah, it was.
It was a cupcake. Was it
UMass?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So if he had played against UMass, he's 1,000-yard back. In a terrible offense. 1,000 yards in a terrible offense. If they get it together this year, you're going to run wild with Jarquez Hunter on NCAA. And we have the benefit now, B, that they upgrade people as the season goes along, as they play, just like Madden. So it doesn't matter where you start. It's about how you finish and how you play. It's Jarquez Hunter, guys. Look, we don't know what we're going to get from Peyton Thorne. We hope we know. We hope. We know what we hope.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? But you have to lean on the guys who are proven. Hugh Freeze said last spring, he said, he's already the best back I've ever coached. Right? And listen, he didn't say that about a whole lot of players. You know, he didn't come in and he wasn't like, hey, well, Robbie's the best quarterback I've ever had. No. Who did he praise before they took a snap last year? Nobody. Jarquez Hunter. That's it. He was the only guy who got praised before he took a snap last year. Jarquez Hunter.
He praised himself for turnaround programs. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, listen, I'm going to show everybody one more time. All these numbers should go up 60%.
That's a lot of percent.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's going to be over 1,500 yards?
Yes, he should be. He should be, B. Awful offense. Terrible. Record low amount of snaps. Plus splitting snaps and missed a whole game.
Yeah.
He could have put up 200 versus UMass. For all we know. Could have been 1,100 yards just on the back of that one game.
Yeah.
I think if he had played UMass, he probably breaks 1,000.
Easily. Yeah. You telling me he's not going to run for 91 yards versus UMass? He probably does that in one play. Jarquez Hunter is a dude. Listen, man, he
starting at the 10-yard line against UMass is nasty.
Well, you know, it happens. It happens. Like they pin a punt down, low.
Sure,
but all I'm saying is Jarquez is going to be a dude. They're going to be a guy that they lean on, and he was an underrated pass catcher in Brian Harsin's first year.
He was.
He was an underrated pass catcher. They didn't throw him the ball a whole lot, but he can catch out of the backfield. They just didn't do a lot of things offensively. I think this is the year where you see them lean on him a lot. If the pass game is a little bit more balanced, we see a little bit more from Jarquez Hunter. So that's my guy, man. I'm telling you. I'm picking up the game just so I can play with Jarquez Hunter on offense. He's going to be the all-time leader in everything in one season.
Okay.
The way I'm going to use him in the video game.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. But he not crushing no Cadillac rush records.
Jarquez playing quarterback.
Yeah,
Wildcat all day.
Wildcat.
Yeah, 3,800 rushing yards for Jarquez Hunter one season. Dynasty mode.
Who you got, Ike? Talk to me, man.
For me, I'm gonna go with the guy who was the security blanket last season for the quarterback. The guy who has the most rapport with the quarterback going into this season as a receiver. That is Rivaldo Fairweather. I think Valdo might. He came into he ended last season in his final press conference talking about how he wanted to be one of the best tight ends in college football next year. If he's coming in with the mindset of I want to be one of the best tight ends in college football, then he's got to be one of the best offensive players on our team. Yeah. You can't be one of the best in college football at your position and not be one of the best on the team. Like I don't think that's how it's gonna work out with the tight ends this season. So I'm gonna pick Rivaldo Fairweather as the guy that I think is going to really be continuously a big catch maker for Auburn this coming season. I love all the dynamic freshmen at wide receiver. Absolutely love them. But there's something to be said about chemistry that's already built and familiarity with, I know where I want to go with the football. Let me get it to them. And because you have the threat of those guys on the outside a little bit more now, Valdo should be getting more one-on-ones this season.
Yeah.
So him one-on-one versus a linebacker or a safety, give me that.
Only 53 targets, Ike. How many more targets you think Rivaldo Fairweather?
I think he gets at least another. I don't think he's going to get a lot more, but I think that his rate of catch is going to be higher this season because he's going to have more opportunities in situations that will allow him to do what he does, which is one-on-one versus a slot corner, safety, linebacker. Give me that all.
And there were games where, like, he wasn't featured at all. Like, early in the season, when we wasn't throwing the ball a lot, like, he might as well not even.
I mean, it was crazy considering what he did on that last scoring drive versus Cal that he hadn't gotten the ball more versus Cal. Right. It's like he made two amazing catches on that drive. You talk about a guy who bails your quarterback out. That's Valdo.
Well, the touchdown he caught, he was sure to let us know that he called that play.
Yeah. Right, but he called it for the right guy.
He did.
The guy who's going to go up there, and you talk about, the 80-20 catches, right? Valdo's an 80-20 guy.
Underrated part of his game, we don't have to stat up, but like almost 40% of his yards are after the catch. So he's a guy that can get you some extra yardage if you just get him the ball. Like he's going to break the first tackle and keep going for another 8 yards.
They're going to be able to do that. They're going to be able to get him the ball more often this year. Again, because I think the matchups are a little bit different on the outside. Like last year, from an outside receiver perspective, who was the guy?
Well, yeah,
there wasn't anybody. That's why you end up having Caleb Burton have to be an outside receiver by the end of the year, and you're sliding Jervarius Johnson out to be an outside receiver by the end of the season. They had no reliable, okay, we're going to put you on an island out here on the outside and demand either you slide a safety over that direction or you get burnt one-on-one with our receivers out here in the way that Hugh Freeze likes to utilize outside receivers. There was no guy like that. So Valdo doesn't have the opportunity to be over the middle of the field in the seam that was open last year, let's be honest, but it was never open when he was on the field because the safety was like, nah, all right, Valdo's on the field. Yeah. Can't do that this year. You got to play him honest. If you're going to double him, then good luck. Cam Coleman's already a beast. Yeah. So those are really your only options. It's you leave Valdo or you leave Cam. Those are both terrible propositions for the defense. I think that Valdo's going to get his opportunities this year. Give me Valdo.
Talk to me, B.
It's going to be Cam. I think it's going to be Cam. Even considering that wide receiver production hinges for future projected stats.
Check out the stat line. Check out the stat line.
Stat line looking immaculate. Even with knowing that the wide receiver production hinges on the quarterback being at least decent, we saw in A-Day he's going to make some things happen for Peyton Thorne that wouldn't have happened otherwise. We saw his 2 catches, longest catches, the one from Baby Hank, outstanding catch. Nobody else on our team last year can make that catch that he made in A-Day.
Yeah.
Either one, really. And to not the fact that he caught that sideline pass and turned into a touchdown, didn't have to go to the ground. No, I'm going to stay on my feet and keep going to get it. Nobody else on this team could do it last year. I don't know what Perry Thompson can or cannot be yet. We haven't seen him. I don't know what any of the young guys can or cannot be yet. We haven't seen him yet. I know Cam Coleman can do it, which is why I'm counting on his production to skyrocket week after week after week. Not only will we see pretty early that, okay, against these lesser opponents, he's that guy, but we've got just enough talent around him where you're not really going to be able to double Cam Coleman. Maybe you want to. Maybe the other guys have to prove it because Cam's been here since the spring. A lot of these other guys would not have been. There is going to be some transition. We're losing. Of course, we lost Jay Fair. So somebody who knows the offense on the field in that slot position, they've got to get up to speed. It's very important, like y'all said, from last year. Valdo has a good chance to be better this year because he went through those growing pains last year. The guys who are going to be around Cam Coleman, pretty much all of them this is their first year. This is their first year here. Even transfer from Georgia State. I can't remember his name at the moment. But, yes, Robert Lewis. Everybody's going to have played. The guys who have played have not played in the system, and the other guys have not played. I think Cam is the only one who can make something out of nothing, out of bad passes, out of passes that should have been interceptions, out of passes that are actually going to be good. He can make them all catches. He turns catches into touchdowns. He turns incompletions into catches. That's why I think by the end of the season, he's going to have the best offensive rating.
Yeah, I don't dislike the idea, like, because as somebody said it in the chat right here, he basically was the A-Day offense.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was clear the plan was we're going to highlight the fact that we have Cam Coleman on our team. Like that was like they went through the A-Day game plan and it was like, all right, so we're gonna throw the ball to Cam Coleman and then we're gonna throw the ball to Cam Coleman, and then we're going to throw it to Cam Coleman, and then we're going to use Cam Coleman as a decoy to throw the ball to the slot. Then we're going to bust him over the head with a throw to Cameron Coleman.
Cam Coleman.
I was waiting on the Cameron. I was waiting to use a Cameron.
Oh, man.
With a trench coat. Yeah. Look, I mean, I like that Big B. Look, Cam Coleman, we know Cam Coleman is going to be Hugh Freeze's advertisement for skill positions.
Yeah.
In recruiting. And he doesn't really have a choice because the way year one went, you're not going to convince anybody that Auburn is a place where you come and sit and wait your turn.
Right.
Not right now. Right. So Cam Coleman and and I'm only not putting Perry Thompson in this discussion because he missed the spring.
Right.
But those two guys, they're going to force feed the ball to them. And the quarterbacks see it the same way. Go back and watch our mixed segments with Hank Brown and Peyton Thorne. Hank said, and when he threw his deep bomb to Cam, he said, I looked up, the safety set his feet, and I said to myself, you don't want to do that versus Cam Coleman. And he knew where he was going with the ball, and he knew Cam was going to catch it. Auburn didn't have a receiver, guys, in the top 25 in the conference in targets last year. In targets. LSU's second receiver had more than double Auburn's most targeted receiver. I'm sorry. And, no, hear me out. LSU's second leading receiver had more catches than Auburn's leading receiver had targets. That can't happen again. You got to throw the ball to Cam Coleman. He needs 80 to 100 shots to catch the ball next year. No excuses. I don't like it. You got to get him the ball. And then you got to throw the ball to enough other people that they can't double Cam Coleman.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to force feed.
I'm not mad at that pick.
Yeah, they're going to force feed Cam Coleman the ball next year. Now, he is a freshman, and I didn't put him as my video game number guy because, I just want to make sure people give Cam some grace to grow as a freshman.
Right.
And, but he's done a great job so far. Yeah. In that interview we did with Hugh Freeze, I kind of noted to him, like, Cam put on some muscle this offseason. He was like, whoo. Perry was already kind of there physically. Cam caught up quick.
Yeah.
This kid's going to live up to the hype. And the only reason he doesn't live up to the hype is if Auburn messes it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like in the video game.
It's the player, it's you.
It's not the player, it's you. So I don't, that's how I see it with Cam Coleman. I like that pick, B. I think he's going to be him. And anything less than that would be completely unacceptable. And there's no way we're going to sit here and blame Cam Coleman if it doesn't happen, unless he drops 50% of the passes thrown at him.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, it happened.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. No, that's a good pick. And especially if we're talking about towards the end of the season, even with him being a freshman, you know what they say towards the end of the season, you're not a freshman anymore.
Right.
And if he's starting off the year as a starter, he's going to get plenty of opportunities to show what he can do in the passing attack.
Yeah.
And with a lot of the other skill receivers that Hugh Freeze has brought in, it's going to be hard to continue to just single out Cam Coleman if you're the defense. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to run wild on defense this upcoming season. So that's not a bad pick. Now I'm mad at Jarquez Hunter. I like Jarquez Hunter pick because running backs going to get a lot of opportunity to get the ball in their hands, right? You don't have to worry about someone throwing you the ball.
Yep.
Jarquez has done a lot with the ball in his hands. He's made a lot of big plays for Auburn. I expect him to continue to do more of that. Be interesting to see how these guys look. You know what we need to do? Let's bookmark this live and revisit this in the offseason to see what actually happens, because this is be interesting. My pick was Jarquez Hunter. B made a very compelling pick for Cam. I'm going to stick with Jarquez because that was my pick. I expect him to bounce back and have a strong year following up last year where he missed a game and just didn't seem like himself until midway through the season. I expect him to hit the ground running literally, and we'll see what happens, man.
I want to thank show sponsor MANSCAPED. Fellas, blink if you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift yet. Yeah, we thought so. Today's episode is brought to you by MANSCAPED, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Maybe your pops has had a bush since the 70s, and that's okay. Our friends at MANSCAPED have crafted the total package for his package.
What?
Whether it's for the boys downstairs, his beard, or even his best pair of underwear out there, MANSCAPED has his bases covered. Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code RAPPORT. From daddy to zaddy, trust MANSCAPED. Your life, my life, everybody's life began in the balls. Honor your father's balls with MANSCAPED.
We need to ask them if we can change up some of that copy sometime.
Let's be clear. Mike is ad-libbing some of that. I'm 100% snitching. It ain't MANSCAPED.
Oh, man.
I have never uttered those phrases in my life. For full episodes, check out the Midweek Report, going live on the War Report's YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time Wednesday nights. Until the next time, War Eagle.